Vanakkam, Namaste. In this series of Periya Puranam, we are going to know about yet another great Nayanaar who was called Muurkha Nayanaar. Murka means he will become a wicked person if anybody talks ill of his Lord Shiva. So he was so mad at the people, he will not spare them. So he became a Murka, means a wicked person. Okay, same words of Sundaramurti Nayanar, Natamigu Dandikku Murkarukkum Adiyen. So Dandi Adigal, we saw the story in the last session. Now we are going to talk about Muurkha Nayanar. He was living in what we call the Tondai Nadu, and it's a beautiful place where all the rich fields, rich vegetation with the great fields, and then there was a river flowing, Paliyaru it's called, and then the great buildings were there, and the creepers were climbing on the great buildings, and that place, the city or the small village where he was living was called Thiruverkadu, and he was brought up in a agricultural family, and he was called Muurkha Nayanar. Murka is not may not be his original name, but because of his the emotion what he used to get when Shiva devotee is insulted. So what is his daily routine? He will do his Shiva puja and he wanted to feed the devotee of Shiva, at least one devotee of Shiva every day. And when they eat to their full stomach and then become very happy, the moment he sees the face of them brimming with joy and contentment, then only he will consume his food. And then whatever they want, if they want clothing, the devotees of Shiva will be given that one, or if they want money to travel to another place, that will be given to them. So he will not say no to anything. Even after feeding, whatever they ask, that will be given. So naturally, when somebody is feeding and giving them money or extra clothing or anything, many devotees of Shiva started flocking to his house. And this Muurkha Nayanar used to play the dice game. He was very good at it. He will win most of the time whatever the other opponent keeps as a stake. Okay, so that's how it was going on. And after some time, if he starts feeding number of people every day, anybody's what we call the mounts of heaps of money will also reduce automatically. So this is what was happening in his life. So he sold his land, he sold his house, everything going day by day. But the number of people started increasing. And then at one point, all the money, the land, property, everything gone, and he could not feed even one devotee of Shiva. That was pining him. That was creating a pain in his heart that he could not feed even one devotee. So what happened? Because he has that special talent of playing the dice, okay, he thought, okay, I will resort to that and somehow win some money every day and feed one devotee. This kind of the mental, we can say it is mental addiction, but it's a good addiction. Right? It's a good addiction. Even though he is playing the dice game, which is completely prohibited for a good person, a good religious person, but he was using this play to get money to feed the Shiva devotee. So the final result is only feeding the Shiva devotee. Only that was in his mind, even while playing and while winning the game. The moment he gets a stake, immediately he will buy things and then feed someone. So that was his aim. So he was continuing to do that, and then whatever he gains from the dice game, he will immediately spend on the Shiva devotee to feed him. Because of his talent of winning the game, people were not willing to come and play because they knew that he is going to win. Some point, people were not willing to play in the place where he was living. So what he did, he left that place and started moving wherever there was a Shiva temple, because he knew the Shiva devotee will be coming to the temple. To those new places where he will go, and then he will play with people, win the money, and then he will feed the Shiva devotee who comes to that Shiva temple. So this was going on for some time, and finally at one time he reached the temple town Kumbakonam. Okay, so he played, because it's all temple and lots of devotees will come, and he started playing and he won so much of money in that place. And then he started making Kumbakonam is his own living place now. Okay, and then he started, every day he will play and get some money and then feed the devotees. He did not spend that money in a wrong way. Finally, his aim was to feed a Shiva devotee. That's what happened. So, the first game, he will find the weakness of the other opponent. So, he will lose the first game. Every day this was a chant. First game he will lose. So, the opponent will gain more confidence that he is going to lose all his stake. But from the second game, he will always win. And then they have to, so naturally, like if the person who got defeated had to pay the money or to put the stake. The problem was, if they refuse to pay the money what they owe him, he will even stab the person with a knife. Okay, so he had a small knife or a small sword in his thing. He will dare to kill them also if they don't pay, because that money is needed for him to feed the Shiva devotee, for nothing else. So he, at the cost of the life of somebody else, he will try to feed the Shiva devotee. So that's why he became a Murka. Murka means he will not spare the person who refuses to give the money after he won the game, because that money is needed for him to buy the necessary ingredients and cook for the Shiva devotee and give it to him. So now people will talk. You are after all playing the dice game and getting the money. That's not the way to get the money. And you are feeding a Shiva devotee. So you are doing one sin and one good karma. What is this? One bad karma and one good karma. How can this go on for a long time? This was the talk about the people. But the thing is, he will not touch the money, whatever comes from the game, for his own personal use. Okay? The money what he got by winning the dice game will be completely spent to feed one Shiva devotee, or how much he gets, he will feed the number of people. So whatever he gains will be completely spent on them. The balance sheet was always clean in that way. So that is how. And finally, after all the devotees are fed only, in the last row, the last row where everybody has been fed, and he will sit with the people who cooked and other things, they will all eat together. So in this way, he lived for a number of years by feeding the Shiva devotee, and then of course he also attained Shiva Padam. Why not? Because the act, it might appear to us that he is doing a bad karma, of course. The dice gaming is not a good thing for a good person, but his aim was to feed a Shiva devotee, and he did that. He did not get that idea, why can't I take this money for myself one day? Shiva is not going to keep an account. That thought never arose in his mind. So the purity of the mind was given the best place, and Shiva said, despite people being mean to you and they were talking bad about you, you did not stop your what we call service of feeding the Shiva devotee. So you will come to Kailasa and enjoy the company of me. That's how he got the mukti. So because he was so what we call angry, that he will not spare the person who is not going to give him the money. He was called the Muurkha. Okay, Muurkha Nayanaar. That was the story of the person. We don't know how in so many ways the devotees have served the society to feed the people. Annadanam is the best danam in the world. So to feed the Shiva devotee, and he went from place to place, settled in Kumbakonam, the temple town, and then he played, got the money. Incredible story. So naturally, this great Shiva devotee, who we call Nayanaar, has become one of the 63 main Shiva devotees of Lord Shiva. So we will go on to learn more about more devotees. Till then, Namaste, Vanakkam.